Welcome to Let's Play Resident Evil 4. This is the PlayStation 4 version. The game has been ported to pretty much every console because it's widely considered one of the greatest games ever made. And despite that, I've never actually played it. And as of this Let's Play, I still haven't, because this isn't my Let's Play.
Because it is mine. Hello, it's Travis. I know, it's been a while. Welcome to Resident Evil 4. And it's not the one that's being made in the future, it's the classic, the one everyone loves. So, joining me for this Let's Play, as you can tell, is Thorn. And we're going to have a good time killing random villagers and saving the president's daughter. By the way, if you can tell by this menu, the menu is terrible. This is the menu you get when you beat the game. It rewards you with something worse.
Resident Evil 4.
Oh boy, we're going into normal. Mainly because this game can be a little difficult. You notice I've already got costumes and stuff. When you beat the game, you get access to certain costumes. So we're going to stick to normal costumes right now because costumes actually have an effect in gameplay. You'll eventually see.
1998. I'll never forget it.
Couple little things as this goes through the little, talking about what happened in the past in Resident Evil. Unfortunate thing about this old game, even on remakes, you can't turn subtitles on. So that'll be fun.
International Pharmaceutical Enterprise.
On top of that, as I mentioned before, they are making a remake of this soon, but this old school version of this, I don't know, I feel like the kind of action Arnold Schwarzenegger 90s movie feel of this with this ridiculous dialogue is just something's going to be missing, but we'll only know once we get to that point. And also you might be wondering why we're starting with Resident Evil 4. Well, it's the best one, and I guess it doesn't really matter the backstory of it. I guess we can explain as we go along.
It felt like a pretty fresh take on Resident Evil at the time it came out.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing as mentioned before, like this is considered one of the best games ever made. And a big part of that is just how many innovations for better or for worse that was added from this game that carried on into other games that we'll see as it goes along.
6 years have passed since that horrendous incident.
And as you can tell, the remake, when it came to the cinematics, they did very little to make the quality of the cinematic look good. It looked a little rough. And some parts are just going to look that way. But the normal game looks amazing, even now.
I was to assume the responsibility of
Reminder, no subtitles, and you can barely hear them.
Oh yeah, because the music is just overpowering. Also, I'll say in advance, rest in peace, awesome coat that Leon is wearing. It lasts like a part.
That's a local's way of breaking the ice. Anyway, you know what this is all about. My assignment is to search.
So the story they're setting up in advance for this game is that, as you saw before, we're Special Agent Leon S. Kennedy, savior of the world. Well, we haven't saved the world yet. Our first mission in the world of Resident Evil 4 is being a cop on their very first day in Raccoon City when everything went wrong, and escaping it. And somehow that gets you qualified to become the president's bodyguard.
I mean, if you want field experience.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I guess that counts. He kind of got on the field a little bit. Also, I love how ridiculous and, I say, stereotypical some of these scenes are. I feel like this definitely fits that category. There's a classic old phrasing for not spotting the evil that is used by this man.
My duties are protecting the president's daughter when she was abducted. That's the ultimate reason I'm in this.
Also, I like he walked only like 3 feet away to take a piss.
According to our intelligence, there's reliable information about a sighting of a girl that looks very similar to the president's daughter. Apparently, she's being withheld by some unidentified group of people. Who would have thought that my first job would have been a rescue mission?
Yeah, the funny thing also about this game, outside of the quality differences when it came to remake is, and this was the incredible part about it being on the GameCube of all things, this is not too far off of how it looked on the GameCube. The only difference was that it was obviously standard definition, which you'll notice in some of the scenes, but otherwise, like, for a game of the time, nothing looked like this.
I wonder if the remake is going to lose some of that charm.
I am a little bit fearful of that. So far, the screenshots that showed on teasers, they kind of went for more of the remakes of Resident Evil 1 through 3, which are great games, but Man, this game gets so much atmosphere based on the corniness of it. And it's not like it's not scary at points, but there's a certain charm to it that I don't know if it'll stay. I'm really nervous about it.
It's kind of like the first Demon Souls. I feel like part of the charm is sort of the time muddiness of the graphics.
Yeah, well, this always looks like it has a mud filter placed on it at all times, as you can tell, which I actually like. I think it makes the game a little more atmospheric and nice.
Parking tickets.
Good luck.
Jeez, who are these guys?
Did you say something?
I love how just easily that Kai just insults them before he closes the door.
Leon, I hope you can hear me. I'm
No.
Amy Hunnigan. I'll be your support on this mission.
Loud
They
and
never
clear.
explain how this radio
Somehow
works.
I thought you'd be a little
You get a
older.
little camera that
So
puts
the
you into a
subject's
gray
name's
background no
Angela
matter where you are.
That's right. She's the daughter of the president.
So I don't even know why it's a
Try to
radio,
behave
to be
yourself, okay?
honest.
Whoever this group is, they sure picked the wrong girl to kidnap.
I'll try to find some more
In a
information
Zoom
on
meeting.
my end as well.
Good.
Yeah, this
Talk
is
to you
way
later.
early Zoom meeting.
That's just Leon's background. Cuts out his room.
Now we could actually see the weird innovations they add to this game. For one, the camera is stuck to your back pretty solid no matter what you're doing. This game definitely gives you control of being able to pull out a giant sword-sized knife. Gives you precise aiming with a laser sight. But while we're at that, the controls are, as you can see, are tank controls, which you can see gives you abilities to be able to turn on an axis, do these 180 turns. Takes a little bit of practice, but kind of makes it fun. Let's say hi to this guy.
Forget your makeup or something?
These guys are assholes.
Yes, I did, bitch. Give it back.
What's the matter?
These are things you don't have to do, but if you just walk into certain areas, there are these random cinematics you can only find by meeting certain conditions, including if I just want to leave.
Not that way, cowboy.
So they must be thinking they're hired the wrong guy for this job, but don't worry, they'll be dead within minutes. So, here's another rule of this game. Kill the crows.
Oh.
Kill all of the crows. So, this runs into an old school gaming thing that I love, where newer stuff, they always consider what a creature carries. Like, a crow is not going to carry a chest full of money and a diamond. But here they do. So just take them out.
Like a magpie, I guess I would understand.
But it's almost like they swallowed it, and some of it just gets absurd.
Surgery bullet.
It gets worse. There's one point where I kill one and it gives me a grenade.
You must have missed. Really well, yet really badly.
Maybe that's why it didn't fly away.
Excuse me. Sir?
So if there's one thing you'll see about this game that definitely shows that they tried to jam-pack as much in the game as they can. So one thing they did save on space is the amount of character models. Also, I love this guy turns the opposite way to face me.
That always
I
stuck
was
out to
wondering
me.
If you might recognize the
It's
girl
so
in this
dramatic.
photograph.
¿Qué carajo estás haciendo aquí? Lárgate, cabrón.
Sorry.
Also, a little bit of trivia about this game. Despite this taking place in like fantasy Spain, it is shown that the Spanish they speak is clearly Mexican Spanish, and a lot of people have pointed that out.
I said freeze!
So tries to dodge me, didn't work, and I give him a karate kick, and I cut him a couple times. That is the classic combo to save ammo.
Well, I just heard someone die. Let's get out of here.
So there go my cop friends, I guess?
Shit.
I didn't get to tell them I liked them.
Is everything okay?
No, I left the makeup in the car.
I had no choice but to neutralize him. There are still others surrounding the area.
Get out of there and head toward the village. Take whatever measures necessary to save the subject.
Understood.
So yeah, I love his face here for some reason. Yeah. Can't believe you kicked me.
Why did you do that?
You're so rude. Oh shit. I love his skull room.
Maggot breeding farm.
So there's two ways to get out of this room. There's a window at the bottom of the stairs and one at the top. Which seems more extreme? I'll answer it for you by just doing it.
Yeah. I mean, one has a prompt.
This is true. Unfortunately, also this window puts you into a bit of a precarious situation because they're right there. Get cut a couple times. Somehow I'm alive, just run. So here's another innovation that this game added, is precision targeting. So if I shoot them in the face, they react by shooting in the face. If you shoot them in the leg, it reacts that way. Which, for the pistol, that's the primary thing about it. Shooting them in the face stuns them, which allows you to kick them. The kick move is overpowered.
Generally, if you shoot someone in the face, it will stun them.
In this game? Hard to tell. Also, this game will sometimes fuck with you, as you saw there, where it won't auto-reload. So you'll think you're like, oh, right, you're right in my sight, and then he'll go into a reload animation and you'll get stabbed. That happens. So that was rough. But yeah, that was one of the cool things about it is you start utilizing the pistol and other weapons primarily to aiming for certain body parts, and you're able to kind of manipulate whether the person drops a weapon, whether they drop to their knees for a different kind of combo move. That was definitely unique to this game, is something that they started. But at that point, we meet the new zombies of these games. Not quite zombies. And the knife, as you see, is incredibly useful. I use the knife all the time.
And I could tell, like, if I played, I would inherently try to go for headshots, but I could tell there's like a speed disparity between you aiming and them running up at you, so I could see you might end up having to need to shoot them in the leg or something.
Well, and a lot of their moves, like, you notice the one thing the first guy did is he kind of did this dodge move. They're a lot more protective of their head for obvious reasons. So sometimes it's an easier thing to aim for the leg. You know, I find that the leg shot's a good one. Crows. Shit. Crows. So, early pistol issues. It's a mid-range weapon, but the earliest one gets a built-in shaky hand. So it's not a very good long-range weapon. And we'll get better pistols for that. Speaking of Weird Crow, thank you for the grenade.
His lunch.
A dog. Shoot it. No, don't shoot it. You don't shoot this dog. You save this dog. You can choose to walk by, but what sort of fucking monster would... The dog somehow wasn't in pain, though, and just ran away. Fucking faker.
Didn't break a tendon, so...
Yeah. I try to remember, there was something I think over in this pile of grasses, but I just get impatient and leave. Because you can't look... I mean, you can technically look down, but as you notice, the camera is, like, right on you.
And speaking of, I feel like we take this for granted because so many games do the over-the-shoulder thing, but that really was more or less invented by this game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or at least popularized.
In this period of time, quite a few of the games of this that Capcom made had this camera periphery, after this game specifically. I love the built-up intensity and sudden stop of that. The danger of the old man. As you can see, they are smart. They have set up tripwires with explosives on them and bear traps to stop me. That's an easy fool for a lot of people, is they'll be like, oh, I'm just going to avoid the bombs down the middle, and they run into a bear trap. Why they didn't set up 3 bombs? Fucking, I don't know. So collect all the money you can. Just like in the old games, herbs are going to be your healing. And one of my favorite things to do for... Oh, shit. Don't know what that lady did specifically. But yeah, this game is also one compared to the old Resident Evils. Definitely fix the organization of your items. This is what's called the attaché case. There's a certain satisfying nature of organizing your case in a neat, understandable way.
He called you an asshole.
These guys, unfortunately, because of the weapon types they have, they're probably the more annoying of the villager enemies because they can throw those smaller weapons at you. They're like 50% accuracy. Sometimes they just completely whiff, but they are a lot of times priority targets for you. It's no point in wasting your ammo on those guys. They all just run away. I think you can, but I don't think it really makes much of a difference.
This isn't Sekiro. You can't just hoover up whatever they drop.
I mean, if it was based on how the old Leon used to be, maybe. Because another little trivia thing that pretty much everyone knows, the first Devil May Cry game was actually based to be a game for Leon. It was the original beta for Resident Evil 4.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he had that design that made him look a little bit like a white-haired demon-slaying Leon. But I think eventually they kind of drew back his superpowers. He's still a badass, and he can kick guys to like 10 feet away from him, so he's still super strong.
Leon, how you holding up?
Bad question, Hunnigan.
Sorry to hear that. I'm sending you a
This
plan
game
manual.
becomes very
Hope you find it
quotable.
useful.
Oh,
Sorry, Leon. How are you getting down?
Also, this game, the first time you play it, somehow she's able to send you a player's manual.
She's just reading it to you.
Woo! Nice thing this game also did, because the old Resident Evil's, like, you could only hold minimal items, but, like, even, like, random jewel items or key items would end up in your inventory. This one, they separated your treasures, your keys, and your normal stuff into separate categories. So you don't have to worry about how many jewels you carry or anything like that.
Okay.
We're going to spy on what they're doing. How did they get here so fast? They got here before I did. They managed to drag him out of the car, poke his eyes out, and then skewer him in like 3 minutes flat.
Well, you were on foot.
That's true. They had that truck. So you have options here. This one you have to be careful because there's a lot of them. So I like to run around the side here because there's a couple items I like to get. You can run to the center and just start running and gunning, but this one I think is too useful to ignore. Red herb. So up to this point, the villagers haven't heard me yet. Keep that in mind. I've smashed through the window and they're just like, all right, farm work, I guess. I'm gonna shoot her in the leg. See, it stuns them. Now they heard me now that I shot a gun.
I mean, she didn't do anything. She just approached you and followed you through a window.
She might have been one of the ones not infected, but no time to figure this shit out.
Wow.
I shot him in the dick and he tripped. That would make me trip.
The whale said we could eat you.
Why are these people?
So this is another thing that was they always point out on the trailers for this game, because this was the first one where like the zombies, quote unquote, could plan and coordinate.
Chainsaw. Son of a...
So one of the things you can do on this game, panic, and then use a bookshelf to block a window for a second. Slows them down a little bit, just enough time for me to start gathering some items in this room.
Enough time for you to do the important thing.
Yeah. There's a certain strategy I follow on this point. This is the first time of like the siege mechanic of this game where you just have to survive wave after wave in a big open space. That you could just run around this space and fight them everywhere, but I have a specific tactic that I do nearly every time.
Fuck your ladder.
Yeah, every single time I do that. So in this game, combining herbs is good. Also, just sometimes go into your inventory items so you can take a breath because it does pause the game, luckily. I'm just gonna walk past them, thank you. These guys almost always hit me, but they're dealing with the ladder. Now, when you get in this room, there's a ways to go. It does give you an option to block that door. Don't bother doing it. The chainsaw guy can cut through it immediately. I go into this room because I can't get flanked in this room, and then I wait.
He's revving it up to say, I'm coming.
So the big issue with this level is the chainsaw man. He takes a lot more damage, but I want him to leave, so he's out. This is my tactic. I just wait. It's a little bit boring of a tactic, but it's the survivor's tactic. He's having an issue with the door. And it's, it's absurd.
They're waiting to surprise you for your birthday.
I kind of tempt fate here. I give them a grenade for fun. And then you pause, you switch back to your gun because time freezes. Leon, the special agent that could fight anyone, the most cowardly tactic ever. But I start getting really bored, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give a shot with this fire grenade. Oh shit.
I'm gonna give you a shot.
So I, as you can tell from here, this is not a no death run. I could have potentially tried to do that, but honestly, some of the deaths in these games are just so fun that I had to show them. Not that I did that one on purpose.
I was gonna say.
That was just me. Yeah. That I luckily had that one run into me, but yeah. Usually I will try to die if it's an interesting one. But that was just me being, I'm bored. I want to see what's in this room. Oh shit. So in this, I just grabbed the red herb, and this time, as opposed to getting their attention, they still don't notice me. I automatically set this cinematic up.
Who are these people?
I've killed a couple of these people already, but they're already back.
Chainsaw.
I like this part because it definitely shows like all the different things that the enemy types can do in these sorts of levels. Setting up ladders, bursting through barricades. And they also say a lot of the same things over and over again. And another thing they did in this game, I don't know if it was intentional, and it's something you can really notice when you're playing it with headphones. They don't mix the audio with depth in mind. So even when the enemy is like 10 feet, like 10, 20, 50 feet away, they sound like they're right next to you all the time.
I kind of noticed that, yeah.
So in creepy situations, that's actually terrifying. So right now I do have quite a few healing items, including the first aid spray they gave you at the start. I don't think they actually give that to you in professional mode. By the way, to those who are interested in seeing the professional mode, I might stream it at a point, just to get used to the idea that I might die a lot too, because it's pretty tough. Oh, a chicken egg.
And a cow. Does it get possessed?
So the chicken egg is a weird one. The chicken egg is, if you let chickens live, they will lay eggs you can heal with, but sometimes they'll lay golden eggs that you can sell. Makes total sense in this gritty game. Now this time we're going to be a little bit more conservative in our choices. The biggest issue with the shotgun at this point, as much as it's a heavy hitter, it is a slow reload, as you can tell.
Apparently it's a bit heavy for Leon.
Oh yeah, he constantly has the, like, he should eat breakfast before he goes trying to save the president's daughter. There's also a couple of hard set rules in this game. The chainsaw will always just go through doors. Hold on, wait. Oh, there we go.
I can make it. I can make. Ah, damn it.
Later, that when they start doing it, it's a problem. But at this point, oh god, shoot! I got greedy again. I just wanted to throw the grenade. There you go. Woo! I love their pirouette they did when they died. Well, one of the reasons I want to go into the room is sometimes the only downside of this tactic is sometimes you'll miss the death of the chainsaw guy. And he drops quite a bit of money when he's dead. So I don't want that to vanish on me for some reason. So I want to kill him while he's in sight. Because if you kill him during this siege, you get 10,000 pesetas.
Damn.
So, and getting money in this game is very useful. I killed him via shooting him in the leg 8 times. Here's nice, if you notice about the kick has an AoE. It usually knocks anyone that hits it, but if anyone's nearby, it also knocks them back, so the kick is amazing. See, that's the throwing items. That gets annoying. Oh god, oh god, oh god.
So what you did to my twin.
My quadruples don't appreciate that. So then I go, you know what, back to this. I'm kind of beat up. I dance a little bit, just pumping myself up.
You're mocking them.
Yeah?
You can't fucking touch me.
So this basically goes on until a certain time or death parameter has been hit. The Looney Tunes pause in their faces that grenade flies to them was amusing. Just like, they knew in this moment they were dead. At this point in the game, they also don't explain why when you kill them, they melt into bio-goo.
Tenemos que irnos. Lord Sutler.
Out of the way, cameraman.
Now here comes one of the most quoted lines in the game.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Goofy line! Resident Evil 4.
Wow, thanks, Jesus. Resident Evil 4.
God, the thing they will prove in this game is just how much Leon tries to prove he's cool, but he's just a massive dork. He's so quotable in this game. This game's just a lot of fun. Like, if you're kind of expecting the usual scares you get from, like, the first Resident Evil or Silent Hill, there are points where it kind of exists. But this is the twist where it definitely became more action-oriented with elements of horror. As Resident Evils went further along, they started becoming too action-y, and then that's when Resident Evil 6 came out and everyone hated it, so they reset and went back to horror in the later ones.
And then they immediately went more actiony again with 8.
Yep, because eventually they find that it's like, oh, people have fun. But so the thing about this game as well is that as much innovation they did add, there's a lot of innovation they added to the game that people didn't like in the future. One of which we didn't necessarily see at this point. We kind of did when we were walking up to the village, was the action input during cinematics. They're the ones who created you have to press buttons during cinematics thing. They're the ones who established it, and then there was an entire generation of games where that became a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
So not everything they made was great.
And is it a case of it's randomized, the inputs?
Kind of. Well, I mean, they're randomized in the sense that, like, they do usually change every time you play the game, but there are very few button choices for those quick actions. There are the left and right trigger buttons, and then there's square and X. Those are the only buttons that ever get associated with that.
Okay.
So it gets very easy to predict, but like some of them come at you fast. It's also why it's very hard to go through a zero death run of this game, because some of those quick actions are things that just make Leon die if you don't do it right.
Yeah, like the first thing I think of with quick time events where randomizing the buttons makes them damn near impossible is Sonic Unleashed.
Did they have that? Oh, God.
Yeah, like anytime you go on a huge gap, it sends you launching, and the game will slow down, and then there's like 5 button prompts, and it's every fucking button on the controller, and it's never the same.
I always end up thinking about the one of the button prompts they did in the first Bayonetta, where that game grades you on how many times you die. So, like, you wanted to not die in that game, but there was this one where, like, a dragon shot fireballs at a church that you were inside, and the quick time event button prompt was, like, maybe a fraction of a breath. So, I'd be going through this time thinking, S rank, doing cool moves, and then I missed that one. It's like, oh, you died. B rank. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Which just so happened to be the button you didn't press.
Yeah, exactly. God damn it. They mock you that way, I'm sure. But yeah, that's how they... Resident Evil 4 starts certainly action-oriented and ridiculous. As mentioned, we will go into more areas that have more horror. We'll see more extensively on what the villagers are capable of. We get to hear more stupid lines Leon say. We get to see more ridiculous characters that also say stupid lines like Leon does. This game is just fun. So, surprise, I'm back! Haha!
For evil.
I always come back for evil.